Hey, Azrael here. I kind of want to make a little video on the whole Runeslayer situation. Not as in like just like with this update or anything like that, but more as in just like with everything, like the entire like release to what's going on now. Uh, I was a senior moderator for the game who went by Tristan. That's my real name, so I just go by Tristan typically. Uh, and I wanted to talk about like kind of my experiences with Runeslayers and like working as a staff, kind of close to some of the new devs as well as a tester. I've left the staff team like yesterday, but that's mainly because of some underlying issues as well as the update in general was just like the last straw for me. Uh, so I started playing the game like everybody else, and I was mainly looking for content to watch when I got into the game, which was made by Zookle. Uh, I watched a lot of his videos and stuff and his streams, and eventually I just joined him in his Discord, his Moonslayer Discord, uh, and directly became staff due to that as I was building up a relationship with him. Because if you don't know, the Runeslayer staff team is based off recommendations from people who are in the staff team. And as they were looking for more staff, Zuko and two other people, or Zuko put me and two other people who he knew into it. If I'm correct, he put four, and I think he put one other person in besides us that like a couple days later. But I think there's only the one person left who joined with me and another guy. So we started off as junior moderators compared to the system that now exists with the staff team. And I then began like my moderation with the game. Um, I think it was around probably March 6th is when I joined the staff team, or 7th. Uh, yeah, March 6th or 7th is when I joined the staff team, and that's about when I think it was like maybe a couple days after I was it. I did not like the way the staff team like worked in a lot of what was going on. Um, so I remember quitting for like a day, and then me quitting inspired them to like change the staff team up significantly. But I'm not really trying to talk about that. I'm trying to talk about a more different subject. So I joined the staff team back again because they changed some things, and then that's when I become a moderator because I was doing good work as a JMod and stuff, and I was making suggestions and things like that, which are a lot of that got added after I had left, which would cause me to join back. And I think I was there for maybe, funnily enough, maybe 4 more days. And then that's when the infamous developer Cetro joined the team and brought a bunch of people. So I'm going to talk about that because, as someone who has insider information, who's worked in the staff team since that whole debacle and before it, I want to talk about that. Um, the developers of Runeslayer do not care about the game anymore and have like basically dropped it. Like their original passion project is gone. They're not working on Runeslayers anymore, and I don't think they're going to come back likely, considering the state it's in. Um, there were two people or two entities, I guess you could say, that wanted to basically buy Runeslayers because the devs had basically ordered one of the community managers who was close to them to throw their hat in the ring, and basically they wanted to sell off Runeslayers because they don't want anything to do with it. They're basically given up. Um, and if I recall, the options were between the people who bought Blade Ball, Fish, and I think what are they called, BDO or something like that. They own Ghoul RE now too, and then the other option was Cetro. Considering the history of both of them, I think either of them would have just been a bad idea and they should have just waited. But they chose Setro because Setro, in general, has worked on RPG games before, while BDO had not, to my knowledge. Um, so, and the devs were just trying to basically leave the game. They just want to be like the owners who own a percentage of it. And before people, start spreading hate or anything like that, if this video gets popular, to the original developers, and mind, believe that the Discord server was pretty small, and then as soon as like Runeslayers opened up, it blew up. Like I think Runeslayers became more popular. No, it did. It was more popular than Deep Woken for a period of time after its re-release, with 42K players. So that likely, and the fact that it was just three of them and they couldn't keep up with the updates just basically ruined what they wanted for the game, and they felt that probably they could not keep up with the player expectations. So instead of making it where they'll disappoint the players, they'll give it to somebody else, and basically those people either disappoint them or they won't. Um, it's a bit sad to see, like that's a sad thing that happens to developers. Usually your game blowing up like that is good, but if you don't have the proper team that was ready for it, then it would likely just turn into similar to a situation like that. Um, when it came down to it, I don't think they made the right choice. I did at the time after I found out about it, because BD was very like they get like their hands on the game and they make it very like pay to win microtransaction. But if you've seen the update, they have a +1 luck on the newest race called Seraphim, and then the other new races, which can only be attained by paying money. So even if you do the whole alt thing, where you make an alt to try and get a better race on the game, you can only get common races on your first slot, and there is no way to get other slots, and there's no way to get free race rerolls, which I'm sure is a big thing on the people who love free to play or free to play aspects of a game, and then you don't have that. We're gonna bit sidetracked though. So Cetro joins the server. I immediately quit. I would consider myself to be a man of morals, mostly. Uh, and then when I found out he became head dev, I had already known about the whole thing with Type Soul and his uh, allegations and things like that. And I directly did not want to be basically helping the game and stuff when they hired I mean, he's a pedophile and he's a groomer. There's not much else to say. Setro broom and make or Setro groom and make it groom. That's the whole saying. And originally, a lot of other staff too dropped out of the ring. And then I think it was when the server got raided by a hacker or a scripter or someone who has malware and stuff by Kata. That's when Zuko made that whole stream of getting basically mad at Cetro, because Cetro was claiming all the stuff for him, like fixing the Discord and things like that, and stopping the whole situation, when basically he DM'd Kata and told Kata that he would like talk about the allegations and stuff. And of course, you guys saw his stream and things like that. He did not talk about it. I mean, he did, but like I think he admitted to being the whole like thing of him being an e-girl for 9 years. He admitted to that. And then whenever he was questioned about the actual any of the screenshots and stuff, he just said it was false information. Like didn't explain any of it. It was pretty clear he was lying. But after the whole Zookle stream and stuff, that's when he decided to quote unquote step down and leave Runeslayers. I'm gonna be honest. Anybody with half a brain cell, including well, I say that, but like I kind of believed it at first. His team was still there. If his team is still there, they follow that dude wherever he goes. They follow him from Typesoul to Gulari and Ninja and stuff like that. Like they follow him everywhere. So if they're still there, he's still there. Especially because of all the contracts and stuff they signed, which to my knowledge, Cetro and all the other devs have NDAs and contracts that they're supposed to fulfill that matches with the Runeslayer timeline. I don't know what is in that at all, because I was just a senior moderator when I quit, and stuff like that, so I wasn't sure. So this would have been my second time leaving the staff team. I know I'm not. I know I'm not loyal, man. I'm not. But I really do. I really wanted the game to be good and stuff like that. But after Cetro basically stepped down, I was offered to come back and basically asked to by 5 of the other staff members, because I did do a good job and stuff like that. At least I assume so if they wanted me back. So as I came back and stuff like that, we noticed that the new devs and stuff, as there's more being added, we noticed that the devs and stuff were sticking around, which I find a bit odd and things like that. And then I find out that Cetro is still head tester of the tester server, which has been like basically reinvigorated. They created a whole separate Discord for it. I considered on leaving again, but I didn't want to basically. For the people who wanted me back, I didn't just want to immediately disappear, and I did compromise my morals by staying. I should have left as soon as I found out he wasn't gone completely. Um, that's something I will admit. But I think that I assumed that him being head tester and stuff was just an artificial role, and he basically had no influence on the game. So the devs, I work on staff and stuff like that. I develop a roster and develop other things for staff, such as teams, so that way we can efficiently manage staff better. So me and another moderator get promoted to senior. Um, Now I'm a senior mod and stuff like that. So I do have a bit of influence. Not really, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Senior mods have like zero influence. But the devs create the tester server publicly, and all staff are testers and are allowed to join. So we test out the update and stuff like that about maybe 5 to 6 days beforehand, before the update's release. And we were very surprised. Like, it was very good. At least that's what we were thinking. There's 2 new bosses. They got 3 new legendary weapons and stuff like that. And we got to see one race. And then as time goes on and we see more of the content from the update, we realize that the update is not as good as we thought, because the 3 weapons are legendary weapons. The races are very pay to win, such as Seraphim with being +1 luck, and basically having infinite mana, and the 1 6-wing Seraphim move that just regens your mana. As well as Bunny basically being unkillable because you can track star and heal 750 HP, eating just a carrot. And the other races aren't very much better. The bat's kind of OP too. We make our complaints and stuff. Some of the staff are testers as well as the normal testers. Basically, one of the things that happened, which is where I directly got in a confrontation with Cetro, was that a bunch of us were basically talking about. This was like, I think maybe 4 to 5 hours before the update, or something like that. We were bringing about how the +1 luck thing is not a good idea. And this is something we had said before, by the way. We had mentioned this before straight to another dev and stuff like that, and they said they were bringing it up to the head dev. But we mentioned some of the races and stuff aren't a good idea, and that they should probably wait a bit more before releasing the update. It'd make players mad and stuff like that. But for instance, Goblin King's moves and stuff, having animation desync and things like that is just not very good, as well as Seraphim being +1 luck and the fire resistance thing. As well as some of the other passes just not making any sense. So basically, I'm talking about this stuff and things like that. And Setro is in the general chat of the tester server, and he's talking about it. And as we're all talking about it and stuff, people are in things like that. They're starting to bring up Type Soul copies and stuff like that, about examples from how he did stuff in Type Soul and how he's starting to bring it here and things like that. Me, on the other hand, which I do, this isn't me saying I don't get where they're coming from, because I do. I was just trying to stay on topic about the main situation, which was the +1 luck thing. That's blatant pay to win, man. You can only get it by paying Robux, and it's a 1% drop chance. Now, if it was on a more common race and stuff like that, I could have seen +1 luck being fair, a bit more fair anyways, but it wasn't. It was on the rarest race, and as someone who spent 3.5k Robux, in my opinion, just to test it out and see if I could get it, I didn't get Seraphim. I got Dual Hand twice, and I got some of the other races, but I did not get Seraphim after 3.5k Robux, and I didn't spend any money on that. I was given that by a friend, so. But basically, as the conversation's going on, Cetro mentions it to the testers, being like, "Why didn't you say this hours on beforehand? Or are you saying it right before the update and stuff?" And basically, the first time I insult him, I say, what did I say? Quote for quote. I'm trying to remember quote for quote. I believe I said, "Do you read chat, or are you just blind?" is what I said. And he's told me basically, don't push it, and basically say it again, like he was goading me on. All I said was prove my point, and that he did. He banned me from the tester server and stuff like that. And that's what basically happened. So after that, I added the 2 community managers. Some of the other community managers. In total, there was originally 4 or 5. And I told them, I'm not going to test the game and stuff like that when you have someone like that as a head tester. In fact, I just found it a bit crazy that I didn't know he even had ban prims and stuff like that. But a lot of these ideas you see and stuff like that are pay to win, or just bad ideas in general, that exist within the game currently are mainly Cetro's ideas. Because a lot of devs told them don't do the +1 luck thing and don't do other stuff. I know I'm like kind of repeating what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to get the point across. We even added the head dev and basically explained the situation too, because we knew players were going to get mad about this. We call the game pay to win, and popularity would drop. Uh, as well as they just didn't give it enough time to cook. Um, so yeah, I get banned. That whole thing happens. The testers are basically ignored almost completely. Because we same thing with the priest nerf. We said keep the angelic wings or revert that. Like nerf combat priest because it's kind of broken, but keep the other stuff. So I decide I'm not going to leave the staff team. I'm going to wait just to see how the update performs. And the update releases. There is a void trade bug that causes many people's items to get destroyed and stuff like that when they're trading. Neither party gets anything, so they just both get screwed. And there's something people don't know, at least from how I've done tickets, and I've done 1,000 tickets exactly. I've done 33% of the tickets that were totally created. That's why I had like the little roll ticket god, but we cannot refund people. The only people who have set to spawn stuff in the game or give rerolls or anything like that were devs. And I think Headmod just got it now too, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, so all these people and stuff are getting refunds. They're not gonna, and they didn't roll back or anything like that because basically, it would be us having to refund probably 200 plus people again, if not way more, for the race rerolls and stuff like that. Because people have probably, I know I heard some people say they even spent 10k Robux trying to get Seraph, but they did not get it. So they didn't re-roll or anything about that. They just basically let people get screwed over, and because we don't have perms, staff can't even help these guys at all. And I think it was after that I realized that Cetro will always have influence over the game because they're in a contract with them. He'll never fully disappear, and regardless, even if he is removed from head tester, that team, at least most of them, are in there because of Cetro, so they will listen to what Cetro says. And I'll be honest, the fact that I don't know who their backender is, which is the person that stops stuff like a void trade bug or exploiters and things like that from happening, to my knowledge, the fact that is probably like the 7th void trade bug since the game's been released, which is partly on because of the old coders too, is crazy work. And the fact that staff aren't trusted enough to give items and things like that to people to refund to you guys specifically, is very messed up. And that's how it was even before they were there. So I can't even just put that on them. But the fact that it hasn't been fixed and stuff like that, and such a small thing like that got over it, because the guy figured it out in 5 seconds what it was after he saw the error thing. That's something that could have been tested, and which and I will say this about the tester server. We are on base plate and stuff like that, with just some of the new content around. Like, we are not on the map or anything like that. We do not actively play the game as if we were normal players as testing. That is not how we do it. That's not our fault. That is the way they set it up. Just to make that clear, base plate and stuff is all their idea. I think that testers, if they're going to be testers, should actually just be playing as a normal player through the game, and then testing very specific things with commands and things like that. And even the things we did report about, we basically got ignored over, and now if they wanted to, for instance, change this hair from +1 luck, they can't, because I don't know if you guys know that, but when you're paying stuff for Robux and there's vast changes to a game pass or an item you bought, you are allowed to then report that item as well as the people who make it, and either Roblox will directly intervene and basically be like, you're going to refund these guys or change it back to how it was, or it can get the game a strike or something, or potentially get it terminated until they fix that issue. Basically they shot themselves in the foot by doing that, because we told them to change it beforehand, and that's how it went. But yeah, mainly I just want to make it as someone who's had insider information and stuff like that, who's been in there, which, I'll probably be permanently blacklisted or whatever. That's fine. It is what it is. I've had my time there, and I'm not going to go back to that game. To be honest, Runeslayers in general, when it first released, I think the reason why it was so popular was because it was a RPG that wasn't permadeath and it wasn't an anime game. A lot of people like original stuff that are made. That's why games like Decline Winter, Gravedigger, Deep Woken, Arcane Lineage, and other games like that all do well because there are a lot of original games. Now, Runeslayers kind of could have fit that criteria, but I think it just blew up too fast for the owners to be able to compensate and properly be able to handle the situation. So they just gave up on it, which is, again, sad to see. But I just want to make it clear that Cetro is in a contract with them and with Runeslayers, and he will always be working on the game or have influence. There's nothing he's not going to be doing. As long as those devs are in charge, those are basically the devs he put on the team. There are some devs I will basically, in my opinion, who I think actually that I got to talk to were pretty cool. There is Onyx. I don't exactly know what he does, but as someone who's trying to become like the lore writer for the game as well, I wrote some pieces. He was the only one who kind of like heard me out, especially because the game, an RPG, in my opinion, without lore and stuff like that is very bland and boring. I'm sure people get what I mean. Like Deep Woken is a lot more interesting because it has a lot of lore and stuff like that. Even if it's not fully well explained and they like retcon some of it. But Runeslayers has like zero lore. It has the one quest line and that's it. And they just finished it now. Spoiler: Cliff gets killed by Goblin King. So sad, so sad. Yeah, but Onyx is a pretty cool guy in dev and stuff like that. I think Kuro has a lot of good ideas. I just think he should maybe listen to a bit more people. But I know me and him first had an argument in the tester server about a weapon that's gonna come out in the future. I'm not gonna talk about it because I do like some of the devs, and Kuro is one of the ones I like. So I'm not gonna spoil what he has in mind. But yeah, me and him got an argument about it. Didn't like each other. Talked about it later. Got to like each other, and he was understanding what I was saying. And the last dev I'd probably say is Soup, who's the person who designed the Goblin King, to my knowledge. Yes, I know Goblin King is not perfect and stuff like that, but when we talked about the animation desync and stuff like that, he actively was trying to fix it, but I'm pretty sure the update just released before he could. So try not to get mad at him too much over it. But I just wanted to make this and talk about somebody who's seen all of it, like who is in the thing. Now, there's probably some things I don't know about because I was not a community manager. I was just a senior mod, and that was more like for 5 days or something like that. But that's basically like the all the insider info I know. Besides maybe I probably didn't talk about some things because I am friends with some of the people, and I'm not going to get some of the people in trouble. Like the person, for instance, who got the server basically hacked and nuked at that period of time, and some other things like that. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna combine this with like another 1 minute video I made, but this is like just me yapping. I'm not gonna edit this or anything, so watch it if you want. Have a good day.